celebrate. They have done it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the match preview. One more game to go. That's this weekend. Newcastle United taking on Everton at St James's Park. 4 o'clock kickoff. I can't wait. I'm lucky enough to actually be at the game. I'm buzzing for it. I'm nervous a little bit, but I'm massively excited. Newcastle need to get this job done, need to win this game. And if we do, we are in the Champions League. It is tight as you like up there between all the teams. We'll get stuck into this in a minute, talk about how we think the lads are going to line up, talk a little bit about Everton, who have got a lot of knocks coming into this game, which is great for Newcastle. Newcastle also have some knocks. I'm hoping that one player in particular will be fit enough to play. You know who we'll talk about in a second. But before I do, a little reminder, if you haven't already, smash like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss any of our videos popping up. Even though the season is drawn to a close, we'll still be busy over the summer months. We'll be talking about loads of transfer links. That window opens on June the 1st for 10 days. Could Newcastle United nick some of these targets? Manchester United has suddenly not been able to sign because they didn't get Champions League. I'm reveling at that, by the way. This is not a Manchester United video, but never has an arrogant fan base got their comeuppance more in my entire life watching football than these Muppets when Spurs beat them in the Europa League final. Congratulations, Spurs. Well done to you. But anyway, let's talk about the real United. We're talking about Newcastle United and how we're going to line up in this last game of the season. This is how I think Eddie Howe is going to line up. Now, I'd make some changes, and I'll get to them in a second. But Nick Pope in goal has to be the number one. Nick Pope's looked a lot sharper, I must say, since the cup final. He is getting a bit better. His kicking's still woeful. Obviously, that's just part of Nick Pope's game. But shot stopping, he's made some great saves over the last few weeks to keep us in contention for this Champions League space. I brought Emil Kraft in to a back four because I think Eddie will go back to 4-3-3. He won't do the 5 at the back. We don't really need to do that against Everton. In all fairness, they're not really as strong of a team as maybe the other teams we've played in recent weeks have been, but we've had to kind of think of a counter tactic against their attack and play. I don't think Everton are that kind of a team. They will be sitting back and they will be expecting Newcastle to come on to them. So we can't play that 5 at the back or it'll just be the most boring, dullest game you've ever seen in your life where it's just teams with very limited possession doing absolutely nothing. And that's not what this game is going to be. I think Newcastle will jump into this game with blood and thunder. But going into our lineup before we talk about Everton, before we talk about how I think they're going to line up, this is the lineup that I've gone for. I'm going to Emil Kraft at right back. Despite getting booked quite early on for a foul against Martinelli, I thought Kraft always does well when it comes in. He never lets you down, really. He's the most natural choice for that right back position. I don't think Kieran Trippier will make this game. People have said he might make the game, and he didn't rule it out. But from what I'm hearing through the grapevine, I think Trippier's done for the season, just like Joe Linton's done as well. But hopefully the main man up front, as we said, there will be in. We'll get into him in a second. But the rest of the back four, I'm going to put Botman on the bench for this one. I don't think he'll play. I think he'll go for Fabian Schär and Dan Burn, who's had an amazing season. My shout for player of the season, to be brutally honest, I think he's been absolutely incredible. Tino Livramento finishing the season at left back. The 3 in midfield. Now, me personally, you know how I feel about Lewis Miley. I'd want to see Miley come into this game. I think he uses the ball really well. I love the way he sat deep in the 6 and he let Bruno and Tonali push up. And I think if Bruno and Tonali were pushed up 10, 15 yards further at the park in this game, for the first 20 minutes, we could destroy Everton, especially with their patched up back four we'll talk about in a minute. But I don't think you'll play Lewis Miley. I think you'll go with experience in this game. I think you'll go with Joe Willock in a 3-man midfield with Tonali and Bruno. And up top, I'm not starting Anthony Gordon. The reason I'm not starting Anthony Gordon, he's not been pretty good, really, let's be honest with you, since he's come back into the picture. You know, he got that stupid red card against Brighton. He's not had a great season in general. There's been small flashes of Anthony Gordon's brilliance, but he's not been great this season. There was all the talk in the summer about the move to Liverpool that didn't quite transpire. I don't think his head's been right the whole season. His body language doesn't look good. You know, he was making silly runs and silly passes against Arsenal. He gave the ball away to concede the goal. And obviously in the reverse fixture at Goodison, he got that penalty and he fluffed it. And I don't think his head's right for this game. And I think Harvey Barnes is way more effective on the left-hand side. We need goals in this game. We need to kill this off early. And Harvey Barnes is a man to get a goal for the big occasion. And I would start Barnes on the left, Murphy on the right, and through the middle, if he's fit, Alexander Isak. If he's not fit, I wouldn't start Callum Wilson. I wouldn't start Willis Sula. I'd probably try Gordon through the middle, and I'd play Barnes on the left-hand side, really. But you might play Wilson if Isak isn't fit. But I think Isak will be fit. He's just been called up to the Sweden squad for international friendlies, I think, in June. And I think Isak will be fit. I think the rest of them for the Arsenal game with a bid to keeping them fit for this game, and enough just to get a couple of goals or a goal to win us this game. We could win this game 1-0, fuck it, as long as we win. That's all that matters. And that's the team I think that Eddie Howe will pick. I would love to see Lewis Miley in the midfield, as I said, but I don't think Howe will go for that. Now, Everton is a funny one. So Everton are comfortably safe. They're mid-table. Since David Moyes came back into the club, it has to be said, he's done an amazing job. I'm not a big fan of Everton. I don't like the way the fans go on. They gave us some dogs abuse, certainly with the Gordon signing and a few other things as well in the past. We call them Scouse Mackhams. They do seem to have a massive chip on their shoulder. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. But Moyes has done a good job, and they had an emotional goodbye last week at Goodison Park. There's a lot of noise in this fixture about the Everton goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford, Sunderland lad and all that. And by the time we play on Sunday, we will know if Sunderland are going to be in the Premier League or not. So Jordan Pickford might be even more buoyed to screw Newcastle out of the Champions League. But I don't think Jordan Pickford is going to be able to do that. I really, really don't. I think Newcastle will be way too strong for this Everton team, certainly with the injuries that they've got in their lineup. They're missing the starting centre-half pair, and they're missing Tarkowski, who's been brilliant from this season. I do like Tarkowski, to be fair. I'm a big fan of that weird show he did on Amazon, I must be honest with you. But he's a defender. He's a cracking defender. You know what you get with him. And they're also missing Branthwaite. They're missing Coleman. So you might be having to bring in people like Michael Keane. Remember him? 32 now. And we started one Premier League game since November. And Ashley Young, who's 40. 40, right? He's only 3 years younger than me. He's going to be playing potentially at right back as well. So again, yes, I know you might be shouting, play Gordon with his pace. But Harvey Barnes should turn him inside and out. Ashley Barnes, but it could turn him inside and out. Harvey Barnes should turn him inside and out. So should Isaac, pulling out on the left-hand side and rinsing Ashley Young if he's playing. 39-year-old Ashley Young. He's had a great career, but we should be absolutely burying that lad, no doubt about it. And the centre-half pairing, patched together, they will not be able to deal with Alexander Isak even at 70% fit. We could kill this game off in the first 20 minutes, and that's what Newcastle have to do. That crowd will be jumping. I'm going to be lucky enough to be part of that crowd. War flags displayed before will be epic and off the scale, I'm sure. The crowd, the city, we all know what we need to do. We have to get behind the club. We have to be the 12th man. We have to roll them over the line. And we've seen that when Newcastle United have that crowd. Look what they did against Chelsea. Minutes into the game, 2 minutes in the game, Tonali puts us up front. I think we could do the same thing against Everton. With that noise, we could absolutely annihilate them in the first 10 minutes of this game. But we have to be straight in their faces for me. We have to be foot on the throat, aggressive, get this 2 or 3-0 before half-time, kill these lot off, get the goal difference up as well, because that could be what it goes down to as well, to be fair. If we win this game, though, we have 69 points, and that's enough for us to finish in the top 5, and somebody's going to miss out. Forest have got Chelsea on the last game of the season, and obviously Manchester United at home. We've got Aston Villa. Manchester United will be licking their wounds after that defeat. Now, that could go one way or the other. Manchester United could think they owe their fans a performance, and they could turn over Villa, or they could just get humped off Villa, which I think is probably more likely because Manchester United are a toxic dumpster fire of a club. And I think they are nowhere near where they want to be. And not having the Champions League next season is going to absolutely screw them financially as well. So I think Villa will comfortably win. I back Forest to beat Chelsea as well, to be brutally honest with you. Then I think we'll beat Everton as well. And then City, you got City have obviously got their game against Fulham away, which is tricky. There is no doubt about it. It's really, really tricky. We're looking at the points now. So obviously, if City win their game, they'll be on 71 points. So they'll finish third. We're on 69 if we win. So we will then finish in fourth. And then if Forest win, they'll be on 68. And if Villa win, they'll be on 69. And they'll have a worse goal difference. So if Villa win, they'll be fifth. We'll be fourth. And then Forest will be sixth. So Forest would get the Europa League positions. We wouldn't get the Champions League positions. So that's still great for Forest, but I think that's what's going to happen in the last game of the season. I really, really do. Now, a weird thing I want to touch upon. I seen Paul from Team Review did a video about this. I'm not going to rant about it, but Sky Sports have decided not to screen the Newcastle-Everton game on the last game of the season. They're going with Liverpool and Palace, which is a bit of a dead rubber. Yes, Liverpool are the champions, and they're going to lift the trophy, but you could just show them that, as Paul said in his video, cut to Anfield, watch them lift the trophy. But it's all going to be about we love Liverpool, Liverpool TV. You'll have Kelly Dalglish should be there. You'll have or Kelly Katish is called, but Kelly Dalglish effectively, that's why she's got the job, really, isn't it? Because she's Kenny's daughter. I'm sure she's a great broadcaster. I don't sound like I'm being too dismissive of our skill set there, but I think it helps when your dad's King Dalglish. Jamie Redknapp will be there. Carragher will obviously be there as well. Sturridge will be there. So there's 4 Liverpool connected people straight away. So that's why, Sky will be showing the Liverpool game. The TNT are showing Manchester United against Villa. You've got your own Hargreaves, Rio Ferdinand. There's the Manchester United connection there, Paul Scholes. So these clubs will always get the prevalence from the big TV companies. That's just the way that it is. Man City used to be on the periphery, used to be on the outskirts, and they never got any joy or screen time from the big TV companies until they started to win things and Pep came and everything else. And I think Newcastle will go the same route. We have been on TV quite a lot. It's a bit weird that fans who can't go to the game, aren't looking enough to go to the game, will struggle to see the game. Yes, we all know football fans have their ways. I'm not going to talk about that. We all know it. But it is a real shame that a game of such magnitude in a season for Newcastle United, which could be the best season in the modern era, in the modern Premier League era, certainly since the Premier League conception, the best season Newcastle United have ever had, a trophy, first trophy in 70 years, and a Champions League finish. That is an unbelievable season. Eddie Howe, for me, is definitely a contender for Manager of the Year. And he probably should win it, but he won't win it because, again, there's that top bias and cartel bias of Slot will win it. And he's done a great job walking into that off the back of Klopp, that dynasty. We all thought it wasn't quite going to work, but he's done a great job and he's won the league, and you've got to give him his flowers for that. But, people like Eddie Howe, who, the season that we've had, the ups, the downs, the injuries, the suspensions, missing out on European football, getting dumped on the FA Cup as well, Eddie having pneumonia, all these things, players constantly being linked to other clubs that are better than us, apparently. And we are still here, as Morpheus would say, in the Matrix, and we look like we're going to get Champions League as well as that trophy. So it's been an unbelievable season for Eddie and the lads. Only one game to go. The lads need to get it done. And I back the lads to win in this game. And I'm going to go for a big one. I think we are going to win this game 3-0. I think we're going to restrict Everton for a goal, and I think we're going to comfortably batter these lot. I really, really do. I think we will be at them from minute one. Now, they have picked up. They've got some dangerous players. I'm looking at the last lineup that they had, and obviously they're missing Branthwaite, missing Tarkowski, missing Coleman now as well. We know what Pickford's like, but again, he can lose his head in these fixtures as well. Sometimes he's been subbed out of these fixtures because the crowd gets to him, and this crowd will be raucous in this game. There is no doubt. And if the Mackhams have been beaten on the Saturday, they'll be giving it to Pickford even more. But, I think Decore might even be carrying a knock as well, I think, in this game. But Beto's looked decent up front, big, strong lad. I don't really think he's as good as what a lot of people are saying that he is this season. He's been all right. He's kind of a big, strong number 9, where Moyes has had success with players like that over the years. He knows how to play to those players' strengths. I'm just looking at his stats there in terms of what he's done this season, Beto. So in terms of his numbers this season thus far, he's got 8 Premier League goals, I believe. 8 Premier League goals. He's got 12 in total and 34 appearances. So, he's had a good season. There's no doubt about that. But he ain't all that. He's big and he's strong. He likes to back in the defenders. But Burn loves that. Burn eats that for breakfast. And Cher can deal with that as well. And I back the lads to deal with that as well. In terms of their wingers, and Dyer's a decent player. He's got a little bit of trick. Dwight McNeil's still a decent player. I think he whips in a good delivery, and certainly with Big Beto there, he'll be trying to do that. But again, I back our fullbacks to deal with that all day long. I think Kraft is a really solid, steady player. Timo Livramento, again, defensively, is brilliant, and he's got the pace to break on the counter as well. I just think we'll be too strong for him. I'm not being cocky or arrogant about this. I just think that Newcastle United are one of the 5th best teams in the Premier League, and I think we'll show it on Sunday. I think we're going to show up, take care of business, get the job done. Alexander Isak is going to start this game, and I back him to get another goal as well. Yeah, so Everton are sitting in 13th. So Everton have only won 10 games all season. They love a draw. They love a draw more than a fucking artist. They've got 15 draws this season, that mainly since David Moyes came in. In terms of the head-to-head, just to give you a little bit of a stat on that one. So in the 27 games that we've played at St James's Park, in the overall 55 fixtures that the two clubs have played together, we've won 14 of those, and Everton have won 8, and there's been 5 draws. So favour is in Newcastle. History is in Newcastle's favour here in terms of the form, and I think Newcastle will get the job done. We will win this game 3-0, and we will be back in the Champions League, and what a party that is going to be. What an atmosphere that is going to be. Transfer window opening next week. Champions League in the bag, trophy in the cabinet. What an appealing sight. Newcastle United will look to some of the players that we've been linked to, and keep it evermore, because we will be talking about all those players that we are linked to. It's not ITK, like some nonsense idiot tried to say the other day in the comments. I don't normally bite at these things, but I did tell him he was a weapon, to be fair, because he obviously doesn't listen or pay attention. We don't do ITK here. We talk about players linked in the media like all of the fan channels do. That's what you do. You create content, you talk about players linked. That's what fan channels do. But loads of players being linked to the football club. It's going to be an exciting summer, a busy summer. Newcastle are going to add to this squad. There's no doubt about it. But for me, the Champions League is important to get those players, and I think we get the job done on Sunday. But let us know in the comments below what you think about our lineup, what you think about what the result's going to be. Are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you confident? Do you think we're going to get the job done? Let us know in the comments. We always like to hear from you, and we'll always do our best to reply to you. I won't be here for the post-match because I'll be at the game, probably soaked in beer somewhere celebrating. Mark will be behind the mic for you, so jump in the chat and give Mark some love. But I might just be able to bring you a sneaky aftermath with St James's Park over my back, a la Craig Hope, until I get kicked out, hopefully. But thanks for watching, guys. Keep it evermore. Have a belter, and we'll see you on Sunday. Come on, lads. Get the job done. See you later.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.